Father God, we look to you this morning, and we're mindful and thankful for the season we're in. We pray you would grant us wisdom today as we seek your direction, making decisions for our constituents. We pray that you would protect those that wear badge and uniform, watch over them, direct them. We pray for all those that are without, those who are suffering loss of loved ones or heartache. We pray for them. So add to this prayer, we pray in Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everyone. Second to the last meeting, calendar year 2019. All right. First item of business were the minutes. We had regular minutes and we had executive sessions. And entertain a motion.
Motion to approve both.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Payroll number 24, calendar year 2019. Totals $238,084.25. We had 286 claims totaling $845,779.39.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
All right. Perfect. Scott, right to you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Make us quick so I can get out of this heat. It's more heat than I have at the jail. We're sitting at 90 total inmates as of this morning. 31 are pretrial superior, 23 pretrial circuit, 16 DOC, and 4 F6. So we will be having some DOC getting out of here. Normally when you see DOC numbers that high, it usually means they haven't made a pickup yet. So, but we got some that are going to be heading out, and for the most part, those numbers are pretty good with the drug sweep that we had last week. Increased our numbers a little bit there, so we've been doing pretty good at keeping those down and at a certain level. So,
Did you end up getting all of them?
all but one so far. Yep, one's still out there, delaying the inevitable. So,
Didn't like renames from
yeah. Someone asked me how they come up with the names for those.
Exactly what I
Do
asked.
some come back to roost when some of their friends get caught and then they like, well, I'm going to be next. I better just turn myself in.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
Going back to the name, though, I heard other inmates taking them to court and whatever, asking the other ones, were you part of that green eggs and ham sweep? So it's funny to hear them kind of talk about it. It definitely got a lot of traction on our social media Facebook page. If any of you follow it, it's interesting to listen to or read people's comments on there of differing views. And trust me, I'm not one to sit there on Facebook all day, but people should find better things to do than comment on some of the things that they do. But anyways, community awareness is really the reason for that. But and I think it's doing a good job and getting a lot of good traction and those type of things. So other than that, I'm sure you had a pursuit that came into our county out of Huntington County over the weekend that caused a good stir. I had about a dozen people at church yesterday ask me, they saw it, wanted to know what the parade was going on in the county over the weekend. So that turned out fine. Minor accident there and a telephone pole taken out. But other than that, it's pretty nice when you can help catch the fish but not have to clean them, kind of thing, because they ended up going back to Huntington County. So, but stolen car out of Fort Wayne and a wanted person is what that boiled out to be. But other than that, I know Kevin and I went and met with some what's their name?
Amoresco.
Amoresco. I have a hard time always saying it. Right. So Amoresco that did the feasibility study on the jail and the courthouse.
Right.
So that's something that will be here in the near future, being able to present to commissioners and council as far as what they've found. Just some highlights, though. They said the jail actually is really, as far as the jail portion, is in really good shape. Commend you guys and the council for taking care of a lot of the things that we replaced over the years as far as boilers and different things in there. Most of the recommendations were on the administrative side, which we knew was probably the biggest issue, and our roof that we're going to have to probably get some attention to within the next couple of years, if not earlier. So those are things that we'll be able to discuss at a later date. We kind of got the preliminary information. We want to kind of sort through that and be able to pick a time where we can present that to you guys and to council. So.
Yeah, my past experience with those type of projects, like the roof, I think is better sooner than later. And with the HVA system and the admin side, just like the sheriff said, there's just two items that are really of importance, I think, that need to be addressed initially, and everything else. It was really a good.
And they went back and did a study on the last 3 years of our energy use and so forth. We've actually reduced that. They contribute a lot of that to switching. We switched most of our lights over the last couple of years to LED. A lot of our office lights and such, it's going from halogen to LED really saves a lot as far as the usage. Unfortunately, it didn't relate to dollars because the cost of energy has gone up over the last 3 years. So,
Right.
But it was nice to see we would be probably paying a lot more than we're paying now for energy costs had we not done that. So, yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, unless you got any questions.
No.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Josh, we have you next. Good morning.
Yearly side ditch mowing is complete. All the mowers are stored for the winter. Backhoe crew is complete up north. About a week and a half, 2 weeks worth of work on the south side of the county to finish up some things. Our road conversions, 400 west between 1000 and Marzane. Everything is to the point to where we've now started laying our top stone on that. We'll have that done this week, so that will be basically ready to sit for the winter. 1000 north between Marzane and 3 west. Everything, it's in the same shape as that. We're basically starting to coat it with 73s this week as well, so we're going to try to finish in the next 2 weeks all the top coat on that little T section there so that it can sit for the winter. 5 west, we got a little later start on that due to some utility issues and tree stumps and things of that sort, so we're still laying base stone there. We have to roll our dirt up to hold our base stone, but because of the recent moisture, that's kind of slowed that down, so we've kind of shifted everyone over to the other section of the road conversions on 4 west and 1000, so that we're doing something rather than nothing. But once I am able to drop a grader in the ditch on 5 west, I got to get that dirt laid up, finish the base stone, and then I can put top stone. With that said, I do plan on having that done by Christmas. Even if I have to make a little bit of a mess to do it, I need to get that stone on there. And part of the south backtrack is to go down to 5 west south of Jeff Road and do some pipe work down there so that if weather allows us, we can start hauling stone and such down to that road conversion section as well. That said, all small structures are done. Hoped to get them paved this year, but naturally, because of the late installation, EMB has shut their asphalt plant down and will not cover them. So I'm going to send my oil truck up to Warsaw to get a load of oil, and we're going to Durapatch them just for the winter, so they're easy for plows and such to get over. And then next spring, we're first on the list to have those 3, the one south of Craigville, east of Craigville on 300 north, and then north of Toxin on 600 east. So in the next week or so, we'll have those coated with stone and oil. But just if you get any calls or complaints, know that they'll be a little rough, but then in the spring, EMB will come out and do an overlay on those and smooth those out. So, but they're at least installed, and all of Nate and I's planned 2019 structures they're buried. So we're good.
Well, and Wells County's not alone, not getting their work done. I mean, there are other counties that are in the same position we are.
Yeah.
The way the weather turned.
Yeah, it's just, hopefully, as long as it doesn't freeze, I should be in good shape to finish a lot of this stuff. It's just got to keep the frost out of the ground.
Jerry needs it frozen so the drainage products get done. So
He can have January, February, and March. Just let me have December, and
There
I
you
can
go.
get a lot done.
all right,
Any question?
Thanks, John.
good deal.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Well, good morning.
Morning.
First on my list here is the federal aid call. The applications from Wells County to NDOT have been submitted, the three projects I mentioned at our last meeting. Have not received any comments back from NDOT. The application actually closes on the 5th, so this Thursday, so we had plenty of time for any review and comments that we might receive in advance for that. So I'm hopeful to see what the response is, and maybe we'll get an opportunity to do an interview for those projects. Bridge 6 down on 7 South is open. Bridge 56, that's the last of my community crossings projects. That's got a start date anticipated of early April. I spoke with Dan Judy from Judy Excavating on the project. He's finishing up some other projects. Our goal would be to get that project bridge closed, torn out, new pilings and foundation put in, and then we'll be able to pave that as soon as the asphalt plant starts to open in early May. So that would be our goal for that project. It'll be his first project for 2020. So we're in a good position for that project, and our deadline will give us ample time before the deadline for that job. Item number 4 is just Bridge 93, the bridge with the accident. Planning on using Cume Bridge funds to pay for the invoices for both the design of the headache bar, the monitoring system, and the heat straightening design for that project. That's essentially the only fund that I have available that would make sense for the project. I just never really made note of that before we start processing invoices for that project. Also, as a note, I am reevaluating with USI the operation of the proposed monitoring system. The monitoring system that was proposed initially, it's too cumbersome to be really functional for me. If there is ever an impact, there's almost probably about 2 or 3 days of straight data mining. You've got to go through all this video recordings to try to find it, and it's pretty costly as far as the monitoring system would be. So we're reevaluating that. It's really not delaying the headache bar itself. It's just how do we want to monitor it and make it more user-friendly. So we're just going through that process, and hopefully I can put that as one of the community crossings projects for next year. So I'm still hopeful to have a design ready for our 2020 call for community crossings.
It's like the last Saturday of January, correct?
Yep, so it'll be like January 6th it'll open up, and then it'll go through the end of January for that. So I still have time, just not a lot. So we need to get something worked out, even if we break the camera system as a separate project from the headache bar itself. That way those two pieces kind of work together. So we're just making some design decisions. Hopefully I'll have a bigger update for you on that at our next meeting. Small structure projects, I'm working on those currently. I've got a list of about 18 small structure projects that I'd like to have done for next year. But again, what will likely happen is we won't have enough money to cover all of them because there's a couple expensive ones in that list. So whatever we can't afford will probably just carry over to 21 and so forth and so on until we finally do get caught up and they don't have to carry them over anymore. So that'd be our goal, but that's a lot. Usually you try to target 12, but 18 is kind of where I'm at right now based on condition. And the last item I have then is the road conversions. I did get one right-of-way delivered to the Highway Department. Roy, I don't know how many you may have received.
I have another one, so we have 2 for conversions and 1 for a minor subdivision. So I got 3 right-of-ways for the commissioners to consider and accept.
Motion to approve those.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0.
In light of that, we haven't gone back out to the property owners we sent the right-of-way request to. Certainly, we're waiting on some. I know of probably just 1 or 2 that I know we have 100% response on, but it's starting to slow down the responses, so I know there's quite a few which are missing, maybe even just 1 or 2 property owners. So definitely I want to get the word out to the public and to those who have signed petitions that we need the right-of-way so that we can schedule that work going into 2020. In 2021, we want to lay out a nice 3-year schedule, so certainly we want to get 100% of these back. because it will tie our hands as to why we do certain road conversions and the order we do them in. So, with that, any other questions for me?
I know there's one that I hadn't completed on because I know it involved the Corps of Engineers.
Yes.
I got that. I put that
Yep.
aside and worked on the other one. So if you have a chance to go through your stuff and see if I've done everything that you
Yeah,
asked
we-
other than that one.
Well, and we wanted to wait until we got some responses back to make sure what we were maybe missing. So I think going into January, we're going to go back through the list, see what we're missing, see if it's something that we did. We don't want to penalize a road because of something that maybe I missed as far as getting paperwork out. So we'll make sure we do that.
Even had on one of the conversion projects had a property owner call wanting to say, "Has everybody signed up yet?" You know,
Oh yeah, we've got numerous people that are like, well, so now that I signed this, when are you going to start? And I hate to tell them, it may be 2 or 3 years
Send them
depending
down
on
to
this.
their neighbors.
Yeah, so
Say,
they're all
this
ready to go.
person right here is the person you need to
So
contact.
I admire everybody's enthusiasm for it, but we got to work with everybody too. So their level of enthusiasm isn't always matched by some neighbors. So we're trying to work with each group individually. So, but yeah, so thank you for that. And,
related to the
bridge. I
yes,
believe.
bridge. We discussed weight limits,
Yes.
ordinances, and detours. I drafted an ordinance and sent it to commissioners. If the commissioners want to consider that.
Having reviewed it, I make a motion that we approve the minutes today.
Seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. So
And an ordinance number.
219 something.
21.
21.
21.
Since it has penalty provisions, it also needs to be published in the news banner. I'll take care of that, Lisa.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Penalty provisions.
Okay.
Is that what it says?
I was on top of that one. I was ready.
Police powers for enforcement of the weight restriction on that.
It's like, how'd that happen?
Help encourage us to keep that open if we can keep the truck traffic off of it. So, all good things. Appreciate your help with that and patience as we
Thank you.
work through it.
I did install signs on that bridge this morning, reducing the weight limit.
Beautiful, thank you.
Perfect. And I'm trying to get with Three Rivers Barricade on the detour route. And I haven't heard a response back from MnDOT on permit yet, so we couldn't put them up if we wanted to anyway. So but we'll get that worked out this week, hopefully.
So the ordinance is effective upon posting of signage, adoption, and publication.
Okay, so now that that's posted, then essentially we just need to get the publication.
Yes.
Yep. Signature, so.
Absolutely.
And the fines are substantial.
Yes, you want to.
The damages are substantial.
Yeah, and I had just hit Jessica up. I don't know if the news banner could help me. I even thought going to Peyton's or Alexan or something and just kind of warn the truck drivers that the fines are
Substantial.
no joke.
Can you read the?
To cross that bridge is not, I mean, if you get caught, it's not a $150 ticket. So just to help our local businesses, I think it would behoove us to at least put something on their trucker's bulletin board or something like, don't go down this road.
No, and we
That's a good idea.
actually had an opportunity to meet with NDOT as well, who's down that way, and they've actually made it a note that they're not going to use that road at all.
Yeah.
In the foreseeable future, they're just taking it off. They've instructed their drivers to never use that road because they can't justify the risk. So,
Well, the intent on this isn't a revenue source. We
No.
want to at least let our local commerce know that.
No, we don't want them to drive over it just so we can
Yeah,
collect.
we're not out there trying to get a fine. So we ought to probably let, I'd appreciate
We
it.
much prefer they not drive on it.
Pure safety.
yeah, no, we want to keep it open for the commuters, otherwise we end up hurting so many more people as a result. So,
I'll send you that.
all right, any other questions for me?
Thanks, Nate.
No,
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Do you want me to give her one of my copies?
Let me make sure it's the right one.
Okay.
Good morning.
I have copies.
We're good. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm
here today as sort of to ask for basically some update for an ordinance that was passed in 2017. It has to do with our bulk images. Whenever we archive recorded documents, we archive them, and whenever someone needs a copy, it's $1 per page. The state set that. It goes into our perpetuation fund, which allows us to be able to run our office from it. And there is something that the state passed that said that if a company wants to buy a certain period of time of images, they have to buy every single image. They can't just pick and choose what they want to buy. And it allows us to go up to 20 cents per image and also 20 cents per index, which is what we type in order to retrieve the document. In 2017, we set that price at 13 cents. Our office would get 10 cents per image. Our online provider, DocsPop, who actually provides those images, would get 3 cents for doing basically all of the work and all of the interface with the company that's requesting the images. We are allowed to go up to 20 cents, and that's what I'm proposing today, is that we go ahead and do that. Our office would receive 17 cents, and DocsPop would receive 3 cents.
So we would need a new ordinance for that, correct? Make a motion that we approve ordinance 2019-22, raising it to 20 cents per image.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Sorry, the penalty provisions on the weight, the bridge weight violation is not more than $2,500 for a first violation and not more than $7,500 for a second or subsequent violation.
Okay. Other business?
Do we want to do the purchase of property?
Let's do the TIF first.
Okay.
So there is legislation passed within the last couple of years that allow TIF areas in the county for residential housing, and everyone knows that the county is lacking housing. So my proposal today is I am passing out maps to each of my commissioners, and we're just bringing it up for discussion of adjacent properties that are near or contiguous to the limits of the city of Bluffton, Ossian, Markle, and Zanesville. And then we'll have a discussion in a future time to determine how far to extend our TIF area for these areas that possibly could get developed. By statute, we're allowed to do it once. We can't do it and then add a parcel later. So we'd like to incorporate it all together, and then as time goes, or the time expires, I think it's 20 years, then it will have to be redone. But you can't wish it if you don't have it part of the initial plan. So I want each of the commissioners to look at it, make a determination where the boundary should be for our TIF area in and around the different areas. So just want to make that decision maybe possibly our next meeting. So I'll have them review property owners, whether it will coincide with the 2020 area plans, master plan, and things like that. So I'll leave it at that. Is there any questions that you guys can think of that didn't touch on that need to be discussed? Yeah, I know Ossian is about build out. If you want to call that, they have about 98% of their land occupied with housing. So there's discussions in regards to adjacent parcels becoming part of Ossian or being used for residential housing. So now's our chance or opportunity, and not that we have to use it and utilize it, but if we don't have it,
Unincorporated areas in Hess County.
unincorporated areas. So you would look like For instance,
Outside of,
correct. So, out,
Right, we don't have any.
right, south of Zanesville, does it make sense
so
to?
what about Lincoln Montclair? I mean, does that make sense? Or
It would have to
20
be.
years down the road.
It would be inside of Wells County, possibly. I mean,
Are these the only areas we want to consider? I guess is what I'm
Some serious things going on there.
Is there any?
I only looked at it from the standpoint of
The ones
sewer,
that are growing?
sewer capability, access, and things like that. So, yeah, definitely, I'm open for any and every comment, question. Sure. All right.
Mr. President, something else. I've got the appointed positions, if you would like to act on some of those today, or we can wait until,
I'm up for that. There was one person that did
I've got a,
express interest in that one position. That
yeah, I'm going
you
to,
got that in.
yeah, I do. And bear with me, we've got a few differences going on here, but I'll try to clarify this as we go. At this point in time, I would make a motion to approve a couple vacancies. One would be the Alcoholic Beverage Commission, and that individual would be Chad Klein.
Second. We're going to do these individually.
Just a couple. Only have a couple.
So second on that one.
And all in favor?
Aye.
3-0.
And also for the Cemetery Board, I would recommend Bill Dowdy.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0. Okay.
Moving on, at this point in time, Community and Family Services, that will, we won't act on that one, and also we are not acting on the Veterans Officer. And with that being said, I would make a motion that we approve of the existing county employee appointed positions remain the same.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0.
One addendum, I apologize. The Board of Zoning Approval or Appeals does not have an individual at this time, just so everyone knows. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. With that. Anything else?
Also, we'll have the floor, the Association of Indiana County Commissioners Conference is this week. I'll be attending. I know one or two of you will also.
I'll be down on Wednesday.
So we hope to gain a lot of valuable information from our network of fellow commissioners and other elected
Networking
officials.
is key.
It is.
It really is.
I don't have anything further on my end.
Next up is the property resolution. You have that?
I do.
Roy?
Well, I have,
No,
Roy
the
has it.
resolutions for county council. What you
Oh,
need to
correct.
consider is to ask county council at their meeting tomorrow night to adopt a resolution that the county is interested in purchasing that particular piece of property. You discussed it at executive session, but you need to make your decision in today's meeting if you want to.
So moved that we would pursue that.
And that decision was to ask county council to adopt a resolution concerning purchase of real estate from David Barkus. It's west on what, Meridian Road?
Correct. Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. I have nothing else. Okay. Floor is open.
The purchase of the property, what's that for?
County garage, highway garage.
The garage.
The highway
Potentially.
garage. Potentially.
Put on that?
By statute, it has to, the procedure for the county purchasing property is first the commissioners have to make a decision of ground that they're interested in, and then they have to present that to county council for a resolution. If county council adopts such a resolution, then the commissioners have to appoint appraisers. Those appraisers have 30 days to make an appraisal. The county cannot pay
absolutely cannot pay more than the average of those two appraisals. So then it's up to the property owner whether or not they'll consider that. They worked on a draft of an option that would say, we don't know what the price is going to be, but we'll say that if it's not at least X dollars, you don't have to go through with it. So let's say the average of the appraisals come in at $10,000, or say it comes in at $9,000 and the property owner wanted at least 10. Well, if he had signed that option, he wouldn't have to complete the sale, but that's a one-way deal for him. He could decide, well, yeah, maybe I'll go ahead, I'll accept that. But does that answer your question?
Isn't it? How many acres?
It's to be determined. Was it 17,
Right.
18, something?
Well, the original map we showed was like 21.
21?
But, it could fluctuate just basically on what he would like to, sell.
And location?
For his appointment.
Entrance would be off of Meridian.
Meridian?
Yes.
They want to show the Basin Commission needs this returned to them. So we need a resolution passed.
For that one.
Any other questions?
Mr. President, I have another item for you.
Sure. Continue.
Another resolution, number 2019-13, a resolution confirming the participation of Wells County in the Wabash River Heritage Corridor Commission, the approval of Doug Sudling.
To continue in that spot.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0.
He's been a pretty enthusiastic participant.
Yes.
We appreciate his.
Glad to have him. I don't remember.
Anything else? Nothing?
I promise I'm done. Unless Lisa sends me something else across the table. Look at her. She just kind of goes,
Oh, by the way.
Here's one.
If there nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We are finished. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Meet back.